Hello there, it's Róisín Curé here, and today I'm going to show you my special bag for making art anywhere. So loads of you know at this stage that I've been developing a special bag for sketchers. It's called a SketchPocket, and I think my tagline is going to be make art anywhere, because that's what you can do with this bag. Now, I went on my holidays about 10 days ago, and I just came back 2 days ago. And I went to Gozo, which is a little island just to the north of Malta, northwest, and it was fab. And we had 7 days, myself and my husband and our 3 grown adult kids. We had 7 days to just, have a holiday. And I really wanted to do the whole sun-sea holiday because we've had a terrible summer in Ireland this year. It's just been grey nearly every day, and it's grey today, and it's a little bit drizzly. So while I wanted to make the most of the sun and the sea and being submerged in the ocean as much as I possibly could, I also wanted to sketch. Now, this is sample number, 5, I think, from the factory, but it's my first one in Cactus Leather. And I'm ecstatic about it. I love it. I think it's super smart. We've got this, we decided, well, my amazing designer, Stephen, had this suggestion to write the name, the writing the name on the strap was my idea, but Stephen suggested we do it black on black or anthracite on black. I think it's black on black. So that it's quite subtle. It's quite subtle. And I don't know if it comes out extremely well on the camera, but it looks great in the flesh. And obviously it's a shoulder bag, so you can pop it over your shoulder and then you open it up, and I'll show you that in a second, and how it works and everything. It's designed literally to make art anywhere. That's the whole point about it. Doesn't matter where you are. You could be on a Ryanair flight. Hello, Ryanair. You could be on an Aer Lingus flight. Hello, Aer Lingus, just to make sure I'm not favouring anybody. But you can also, more to the point, you can sketch when you're on your summer holiday, your winter holiday, wherever you are, because you can bring everything with you and you can look good. Look at this. How nice is this? Look at this. It's fake leather. Yes, it's vegan leather, as they say, made out of cacti grown in Mexico. And I have no idea what they do to them, but I'm sure it involves pulverizing tons and tons of cacti. And the reason it's sustainable and eco-friendly material is because cacti, they tell me, the ones they use for this leather, they don't need to be watered or fertilized or anything like that. So as you can imagine, in today's world of, very hot weather, it's great that they don't need any water. Now, this is the, as I say, the something sample, but I really love it. And I'm going to show you some of the details that I love. This is my favorite detail. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it very well. That is my signature. That is my signature etched onto the zipper tabs, which I don't know, I think that's my favorite feature of all. I also love the stitching, the quality of the stitching and the chunkiness of the zips. I really love that. As for the leather, it's really nice. It's got a lovely feel. Now, I shouldn't say too much about this particular leather because I am going to try one more in the range before I make my final choice. And the next one's lovely too, but I haven't seen the sample yet. So what do we have? At the front we have a little pocket that is obviously lined and padded, and that's big enough to take your phone and your sunglasses and your wallet and whatever, small things that you have. Then we have 2 zips here so that you can pull them up from the sides and meet in the middle. And here is where it gets interesting. So the lining is, this is, as I say, a sample, and the pockets need to be padded more and be more stiff. But you can see the fabric lining. It's a selection of paint tubes that kind of, talk about watercolor, which is my favorite medium. Now, what do we have in the bag and what comes with the bag? Well, it comes with one of these, a Sailor pen, Sailor 55-degree Fude pen. It comes with 1 full and 1 empty ink refill. So this one here is the one you get. It's Document Ink Brown by Detrimentus, waterproof, clog proof, fade proof, and it's one of my favorite colors, that brown. The other one, I considered giving you a different color, but in the end I thought no, I'll just give you an empty little vial, and you can fill it with your own color ink. You will get 2 of these magnets, nice and strong, and they are for putting on your sketchbook and keeping the pages down. But here's the genius bit. This is a small one, it's not as big as the, I should have 2, you'll get 2 big ones anyway. So it's for putting on your paint box, and then it doesn't fall off. Now, most of the time I'm sitting down when I sketch, but every now and then I do like to sketch standing up. So this will mean that your box won't fall off, which is obviously very ideal. Then you draw your picture with your ink pen, and then you use your water brush, and the bag comes with 2 of those, your water brush, and then you obviously dip it in your paint, squeeze, blah, 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 and make sure you don't forget to fill it before you go out. And that's how your brush, you can paint your whole thing in it. Obviously you can bring your fancy brushes with you. I bring my Rosemary & Co amazing brushes with me everywhere as well. But you don't need them. I mean, if you're doing the most pareback sketching, then these little water brushes by Sakura are all you need. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the paints you'll get are Roman Schmal artist quality watercolors, curated in colors by me. And I love those paints. They're strong and vibrant, they're artist quality, and they're amazing. Now, we all make mistakes in art all the time, at least I certainly do. And because we are working in ink, you can't rub out the pencil lines. So I always supply a gel pen in the bag. So there you go, that's what you get. Oh yeah, and you can use the white gel pen. It's a Sakura, it's a Jelly Roll by Sakura. And it's the best one I've ever used, which is why I supply it. You also get, I should have mentioned this, you also get a fabulous watercolour sketchbook by Hanamulla. And this one is the 250 gram, 100% cotton one, which is top quality. Look how chunky it is. I absolutely love this. Painting on this is a dream. Is it worth the extra money? I'm not talking about my SketchPocket because it comes with it, but if you're buying them separately, well, that's a whole other review, I suppose. But as far as I'm concerned, once you've tried this particular version of the Hanamulla range, no going back. And that fits in this little pocket down here. Wait till I show you. Fits down here. It's a bit squashed with paints at the moment. And there's still room for an A5 book up at the top. So I, myself, am hooked on the A6 size, but you might prefer the A5. I know many do. I know many think the A6 is too small. I don't think so. And you'll see why as well. I'll tell you why. Now, this is just a little mini box of paints that I like to bring with me. I like to bring it because it has granulating paints in it, super granulating paints by Schmincke. And it doesn't come with the SketchPocket, but I just like to have it. So there's room, as you can see, right now, I just put this little magnet in here. As you can see, there's room for everything that you might like to bring. And then in its zips, now there's no A5 sketchbook in this, but there's still lots of room. And then at the back, you've got two little extra pockets for bank cards or travel cards or whatever, credit cards. And that's it. That is your bag. And I personally think, as I say, it's very stylish. Very stylish. Now, I am going to be making most of the bags in black with a white lining, but there will be a very small number of white ones with a white strap and a black lining. And I'm going to keep one for myself, but there will be a few for those of you who like to match your summer outfits with a light coloured bag. And that's it. So let's have a look at the sketches that I did in Gozo. I'd like you to bear in mind that because I was on holidays, I didn't do much filming. So you've got a scant, very little bit of clips, very few clips of using the SketchPocket in action because I was too busy reading my book and lying in the sun and taking dips in the pool and snorkeling with all the fish. I didn't even visit any of the towns in Malta because it was very hot. It was, I don't know, in the 30s in fact, all of the time. But I'm counting the days until I can go back when the weather has got a bit cooler, and I'm going to do some sketches of the beautiful architecture that you can see all over Malta. All right, stay tuned, and I will show you a few little clips of the SketchPocket in action in Gozo. Well, I really had to include this clip of the server bringing me a mojito. Here I am sitting in the Terrazzo Cafe in Shlendi. This is a lovely little restaurant and bar where I suppose my family and I hung out for almost the entire week. If you walk down the side of the hill, down some steps, you come to the water's edge, and that's where you jump in the whole time, and it's glorious. Okay, so I've got my little sketchbook open. I'm wearing my SketchPocket over my shoulder, as you can see, and I'm sitting at the table, and the table is covered with glasses of, I don't know, spritzes and iced coffees and that kind of thing. And here I've taken out my water brush, and I'm just adding a little bit of colour. I did mention earlier my super granulating paint box, and that's what it looks like when it's open. That's a very, very small little paint box. Sometimes I like to have the super granulating colours by Schminke, and sometimes I like to have those tiny boxes with the regular colours that are bright and strong by Reuben. So popping my lid back onto my water brush and putting it down on the table. But the nice thing is you can actually do it all without having to have a table nearby. This is a sketch I did on about the third day of our holiday, trying to capture the glorious watercolour of the sea in front of us. A mixture of phthalo green and phthalo blue. Not sure if I caught the colour exactly, but I think you can get a feel for the spirit of it anyway. Shlendi is a tiny little village at the end of a valley cutting through the rocks. So it's ideal for accommodating everyone who wants to jump into the sea. My SketchPocket open, sitting on my lap. Nothing falls off because it's attached to me via my shoulder. Now, I have to be honest with you, after laughing and pointing at very pink British and Irish tourists for the first couple of days, didn't I only go and get myself burnt? And this was the day that it happened. I had my scarf slung over my back, but I missed a bit, and I did get burnt a little bit on my back. I had gone down to the bar to sketch with my son Paddy.
Hey, we're sketching. Do you want to come down? Same as yesterday.
So next you'll hear me telling you what I'm doing and basically redoing the pitch for my SketchPocket. Paddy is shielding himself from the sun there. We've both been sketching, and now we're having a cactus liqueur, if you don't mind, drink, which is very appropriate, seeing as I am using my Cactus Leather SketchPocket to do all my sketching. And you can see here I've got everything I need. I've got my ink refills, which I've used already today. I've got my pens. I've got my white gel pens. I have my little water brushes, and I have my little paint box, and everything fits in my SketchPocket like a dream. There's nothing squashed, everything easily accessible. And the bag looks super, super stylish. Whoops. That's the diving board, off of which I have not yet mustered the courage to leap. But I intend to. In the few days that will still be here, I intend to learn to conquer my fear and jump off. Well, I didn't learn to conquer my fear and jump off. I thought I might have a couple of these and then I'd be brave, but that's probably not such a good idea. And anyway, I didn't quite muster the courage to do anything of the sort. The biter went straight to my head. So here's the finished product. The coffee cup is nice, and the biter liqueur is nice too. The whole thing is kind of a little bit loose and messy, but you know, that's what happens when you drink biter spritzes when you're trying to sketch. On this day, I really felt the urge to get all those people in. This was a busy, busy afternoon, and the sea was teeming with people. It's kind of a Where's Wally, isn't it? I've got everything in this sketch. I've got the little pedalo that I took out with Paddy and Liv, my two younger kids. And if you see those little kind of patches of bubbles. That's where the divers are lurking just below the surface, hanging out at the bottom there. So I tried to get everything into this scene. Many of our afternoons were spent by the pool in the guest house where we were staying. There were two pools. One was full of kids and the other was really calm. This is the other one, obviously. And the finished product. Another sketch from the terrazzo bar where we practically lived. Now you see those two guys sitting there. Well, they were joined by another fella and he sat down and he said, "Okay guys, I don't have very long, but I thought you'd want to talk about what happened last night. The first thing I'd like to say is what happens in Gozo stays in Gozo." I don't know what you make of that. This little cactus plant is by the pool where we were staying, and these plants are all over the island, so I really enjoyed drawing them. If ever you get a chance, you should definitely draw the prickly pear because they're gorgeous to draw. This was one of the first sketches I made during the week. Nice and relaxed. Here's a sketch of my daughter Liv sitting on the balcony of her hotel room. You can see the pool just outside. I like the way I caught the light there. And here she is in person. And here is the brass band marching through the streets of Schlendi. I think they're really good. That was a ceramics festival over the weekend. It was great fun. It's lovely to see everybody out enjoying themselves. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your first glimpse of the Cactus Leather version of my SketchPocket in the field, so to speak, by the sea over in Gozo. Reuben and I are reunited and we've missed each other very much. Reuben has been following me around like a shadow all day, so I think I'm not making a wild guess to think that he might have missed us. I'm awaiting the final sample of the SketchPocket. It's going to be here in the next few weeks, I hope. And then I'll be able to, if all goes well, I'll be able to give it the green light to get the first run out there. I'm warm for the first time all day because I've put on my dry robe, which you're supposed to wear after a swim in the freezing cold waters of Ireland, around Ireland. But it's also very, very handy for a freezing cold Irish summer when you're supposed to be in your nice warm studio. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. And I look forward to sharing more cool stuff from my SketchPocket with you very soon. And most importantly, I hope to share with you the possibility to really make art anywhere, because that's the key to a really happy day. At least that's what I found. So I wish the same for you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.